Stream seems to be on, recording's on, mic's on. Let's get rid of this because that's not what we're working on right now. This is what we're working on right now. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see Keystone? So, to explain the format of today, just mixing. And normally I would like just stream for like 5 hours straight. And I might do 2-3 subjects during that time. But I've hit the third subject today and I wanted to break them into smaller little streams so then I can actually put them out as individual little videos. Plus Facebook doesn't like long videos. It really doesn't. It doesn't like do it at all. So smaller streams. So this stream is the last stream of the day and we're colouring and we got a lot of buildings to colour. This is Keystone. This is Keystone Reforged. This is an old map that I drew back in the day. That was my least favourite map. And as a project for the Patreon, we took on redrawing it, like the 2020 reimagining of it. It is a multi-tier city between two cliffs. And so the east and the west side here are actually under the cliff face. If I actually put my background on for a moment. Yeah, that's not, you're not really be able to see much there. Let's just turn those layers off. This is the old map. Right here. And if I get on my narrate layer for a moment. This line here is our cliff. And this here is our cliff. Which means this is in darkness and this is in darkness. They're actually in the hollowed out sections of the cliff. Like Cappadocia or something. So we are actually... Let's just do shrooms. Got our ink layer. We'll turn off my old trace. So that is kind of what we're doing, and what I'm actually doing right now is we left this as me colouring the area. We're reasonably close with the first one of 4 tiers, and I was actually beginning to move into this area, which is actually a dwarven area underneath the cliff area, underneath the cliff face. And then what we're going to do is I want it to feel like nighttime. It's kind of daytime, nighttime because you're in cliffs, but because the bottom tier is underneath these multiple tiers with bridges and stuff overhead, it's also a little shadowy. So everything's going to be kind of a little gloomy, but then we're going to do these little pinpricks of light. I want to be able to actually do street lighting, you know, torches and stuff in here. I've done it twice before, and it turned out pretty good, but I don't know. This one, I think we're going to be doing a little bit of experimentation. Alright. So, let's, you know what, let's just get into colouring this sucker. Experimentation is fun. Yeah, I agree with that. I do. I actually like experimenting on stream quite a bit, especially when you are working with people like yourself, and you know you're trying different ideas. By the way, Miss J, this is a map where I did not do the roof details separately. All right, so it's going to be one of those maps, my friend. There's going to be a level of hand colouring on this little puppy. The dwarven buildings I wanted to be a little bit more of our stone grey, light grey, marble type of thing. Hello, HB. I've not used you in a long time. Gold for the temple? I like gold. I like gold. I could dig gold. I was going to do like a white or something like that, but I like gold. Let's go with gold. It'll stand out. And this entire quadrant of the city across all 4 tiers as you go up is the temple districts. Like this is actually a stalagmite that goes all the way up, I guess, into a stalactite. And it comes up to the layer above. And there's another set of temples up there. So it's kind of like temple, 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 temple. You know, let's do this area here. We're going to do flagstones and everything. I'm leaving the flagstones until the end. I got some curious grey going on there. I must do something with my screen occasionally. Is that ink? It's on... Whoa, 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 whoa. Come back here. There we go. Me leaning on the screen, that's no good. This is ink layer? I must still have... Yeah, it is. I did something here, clearly. Look at that. I don't know what I did, but clearly I did something. Miss J says, it took me forever to find that Happy HB brush so I could use it on Trid Party. It's a good brush, right? It is a good brush. That whole set is, like, kind of cool. Let's do the darker colour first. I wonder if I should actually do the flagstone in this area just so people could see what it's going to look like. Maybe a white flagstone? We'll see. We'll see what we're in the mood for. Jack went out to make coffee earlier and never came back to actually pour it, so I might just disappear from the stream for 5 seconds to actually get myself a cup of coffee. And obviously we'll do the shadow of the buildings in a moment too. Since colouring this map, we've changed how we're doing certain things. So this map is a little bit, from a colouring perspective, kludgy. We've refined the process since. Thanks, babe. Sorry, honey. Cover. Posty wrestling with the mailbox behind me. Miss J, stick with greys, light greys, or introduce some golds. What do you think? Golds for the big wealthy ones. Yeah, I like the idea. I do. Let's do it. Let's get into a little bit of detailed colour in here. What colour should a stalagmite be? Like, I mean, my instinct goes grey, but like we've got a lot of grey. Should it be like more of a grey-brown in colour? Would that make it stand out against everything else around it? Maybe I'll do a red roof on this too. Like that detail right there, that mini roof on the roof. No, no. White floor, gold roof building on the top of it. Photoshop, you little minx. Thanks, babe. Soft brown peach. Soft brown peach. Most stalagmites have I've seen vary from white to warm off-white. Very few cold colours in natural rocks. Alright. Okay. Okay. I've never seen one. Like outside of photographs. Okay, I like that. Of course, behind a stalagmite, theoretically, there should be shadow, but we'll hit that as a separate process. Mystery, I've only seen them in 1K for real, otherwise in photos and documentaries. My favourite are curtain ones, like frozen waterfalls. I know, right? Again, just from photographs. I love adding caves to, like tabletop role-playing games, like my adventures that I write. Because they're so incredibly beautiful to look at, you know? And I can only imagine how hard they would be to navigate, like those curtain ones that you're talking about. How fantastic to have that as like an adventure location. Oops. Alright, so if we stick with this for a moment, then this building here, do we continue that? Maybe we'll do the white again. Let's do the white again with gold roof. White steps, gold roof. And then I think that building that's in between them, I'm going to give it a red roof, because I think that would be a nice contrast. Oh, mystery though. That sounds like a great project. That sounds like something that could be really fun, challenging, but fun to work on. I think that most tabletop cave systems don't do justice to the potential for what could be in a cave. There you go, that type of approach, right? Golds, but with a splash of red here and there. Make it look like a rich area. Maybe we need to think about a purple topped building somewhere. The red looks grand. I know, right? I mean, I saw it in my head. I was like, this could be kind of cool. Like, juxtaposition between two gold buildings. It will really stand out. I think we're going to do a little bit more of that just here and there around the plaza. Amethyst tiled roof. I like it. I like it. I like it quite a bit. That's a special little temple right there. I dig that. Maybe we'll do another one right here in this corner because we've got gold all around. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. I could do a select colour on this one, but hey, we're zoomed in now, so may as well do what we're doing. I think I'm going to be really tempted to throw the flagstone down in the dwarven area. Even though I should be doing the flagstone for the entire city, truly. I'm going to be really tempted to do it in the dwarven area. Give me a sec. Be right back. Boob. Let's see if we can finish this Plaza of the Dwarves here. So, Miss J, you said off-white, warm white, soft brown, peach. For the stalagmite here. Let's take a look. I'm going to do a quick search. And then what I find, I'll bring up on the screen. Stalagmite. These are so beautiful. Look at these things. I see what he's... Look how beautiful. This is insane. Yeah, I see what you're saying about these colours. Right, let's use this. Let's use that as our swatch right here. In fact, let's undo that. Let's do a new image based upon that. This is our swatch, okay? Let's give this a good go. Yeah, Miss J, what a beautiful phrase that is. Forest of Stone. How insanely beautiful are they? I could gaze at that stuff all day long. You know what? Let's do two of them at the same time. This year I would love to see you draw an underground cave. As opposed to an overground cave. But you know what I mean. Your passion is clearly coming through. I'd love to see what you could come up with. So, Miss J, what is your next project? Mr. Valor says, zoomed out, they look like a bunch of turkeys on platters. Oh, the candles that you're doing. I assume you're talking about, because these look more like buttholes. Interesting colour. Interesting colour. Mr. Valor, is this something that you could be sharing on chat? I feel like I'm saying, is there something you wish to share with the rest of the classroom, Josh? No, but is there a project that you could actually share with us? Because if so, please feel free to share. I'd love to see it. Big gates going into the plaza. Gotta be gold. Gotta be gold. This is the royal or religious plaza right here. Gotta be gold, right? It just occurred to me last stream you haven't seen my town city maps. Mr. Valor, if you have them to share, I would love to see them. What I love about this channel is we're a bunch of cartographers just sharing each other's work. And if you have them in a format where we can see them, share. I will bring it up on stream, my friend. That goes for all of you, by the way. If you're working on some maps, fucking A. I love it. If you ever want to share, even if you normally lurk and don't chat, that's cool. If you've got something you would like to share, I would love to bring it up on stream. Alright. Mr. Valor. Oh, this is nice, man. So this is Mr. Valor's work. This is good, man. I love it. That is so bright and colourful. Yeah. I like that flagstone texture, man. Like, I want to put that flagstone texture all over my city map right now. I like that one. I like that quite a bit. Man, I just want to print this sucker off. I want to print this sucker off 25mm scale. I want to throw it down on the table. This is good. Right on. Valor Maps. Patreon.com/Valor Maps. Right on. Cool, beautiful. I love the colours. I want that flagstone, Phil. I want that. That's really nice. Nice work. So beautiful colours. Beautiful. I love the green with the gold edge. I'm going to steal that right now. I'm doing a green roof. I'm doing a green roof with a gold edge on it. I love that colour. Alright, where am I going to steal your green and gold? I'm going to do it right here. So if I backed you on your Patreon for a month, would you give me that flagstone, Phil? If I please, please. No, I really like it though. I'd like to experiment with that. Thank you, my friend. I owe you one. I think we're all probably the same, right? I can't imagine it's just me. I love, like when you see a good texture, I want to play around. I want to do something with that texture, right? And the one I use, it's okay. It's functional. I want to find. I'm a collector of paper textures because I used to do paper texture behind my maps to create like just that little bit of shadowing here and there, you know. But I haven't found the perfect one. I'm also collect water textures, but I haven't found the perfect one. So I end up like just doing my own. I've stopped using them. But flagstones I use. I'm gonna do another red. I'm gonna do another red. There are a few map styles going around that are so clean cut and flat colours that they're wonderful maps but feel sterile. I think there was Miss J. Did you see much of the Rikadon map that I was redoing? The original Rikadon was fine in most respects, but it felt sterile. I think that's the thing. If you're not careful, they're lifeless, right? I think that's the phrase. Is sterile, and that I think is part of the mark. If you can make a map feel not sterile, even if your skill is not that high, I would argue, if you can inject that quality of life into a map, plausibility, then I think it immediately is better, you know? Organic and colourful. Yes, organic and colourful are good. And lived in. Plausible. I mean, you've all heard me on stream. I'm constantly thinking about, two things. I put myself in my own map and I look at it. I look at it from the ground level in my mind's eye, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the sights and the sounds, the people, and why would this be here? This is a wall. Would there be this building here? I'm constantly thinking about how things are laid out. Um, but just started like think about like the people in your map and like how them using it and how things. I mean, you get the idea. I don't think people do that a lot of the times. I think there's a lot of cartographers out there that just they're creating a map for locations. It's like this is location one, this is location two, this is location three. It's like yeah, fuck your locations for a moment. Think about the people in your map. Think about what this map is about. Alright, see, Mr. Val, I mean, we'll still be here. I'm going for another 45 minutes, okay? So there's a challenge, Miss J. There's a challenge. There is a lot of flat, monotone, no texture, sterile interiors to life, right? Maybe even a dentist's office or some like kitchens and such. If you had to map one of those, what would you do to make it not sterile? I think for me it would have to be details, it would have to be lighting, shadows. I think I would have to try and create those contrasts in other ways. So if you've got like this flat, let's call it pure white plastic surface even, in a kitchen, I think I would have to have like, a container of knives and stuff there, creating a shadow and so, and now you've got this beautiful kind of contrast, and I think I'd have to do that over the map if I had to do that type of approach. It's like sometimes I get asked to do a modern city, and I don't really do modern cities because they tend to, if you're not careful, just to be boring as fuck. So that can be a challenge. Atmosphere as well as layout, location. Bowl of fruit, nice. Wooden shopping board, girl, you're thinking like a pro. Yeah, look at the colors you could get off that. That's a beautiful idea. You could do a series like this where it's like you challenge yourself in some way and then you come up with how you would address it and you document that. Because I love that. I love that. Now I have this sterile surface with a bowl of fruit on it and like a stack of knives and there's the shadows and the colors and it's like boom. There's this beautiful simplicity in that I really like. And it's like exercise number one. Like an Inktober sort of thing. Exactly, exactly. That could be kind of cool. That could be kind of cool. So that actually gets me interested. It's like we'd almost need to document some challenges. And I'm not sure you could do it without like a level of thought up front. That could be interesting. It's a little bit like the draw a cave system. You know, how are you going to do this rock forest? How would you approach that? How would you draw a rock waterfall? You know, like the stalagmite that has that sort of formation. How would you draw that? I've been asked to do a superhero city. How would I draw that? What would I do differently with a superhero city than, let's say, this city? What approach would I take? What styles would I do? What colors would I do? Actually, Cave Geek came up with a good one, which I want to do. Same city or same location, it could be even just a house, coloured for the four seasons. How would you approach colouring differently for the four seasons? Underwater shipwreck, like that one. Another one was, and this was one I was going to do at some point, was like a city or a town at different stages of its growth, including ruin. Like literally, almost like the life of either a town or a city. You could go from a Motte and Bailey castle to a small village, or from a small village, Motte and Bailey Castle. I think Motte and Bailey Castle, you get the villages growing up around it. It's a small town, and then what happens is with the ruin and that could be interesting too. Cities for beings made of fire. So yeah, that could be interesting. It was like, so I did the maps for City of Brass, Frogod Games. That was heavy fire elemental and shit. It never felt like it really. Okay, so actually, let's roll with that. Let's roll with that. Let's roll with that. Not just beings of fire. What about underwater cities, like your Sahuagin? I was going to draw an underwater city for the Sea King's Malice, but then honestly, I recommended that they didn't do it because there wasn't a real location there. That, it was like they just wanted an illustration more than a map. But like an underwater Sahuagin city, a city for fire people, elemental cities of any type, really. A real life Fortnite, like exactly right. I mean, from my birthplace, my fortunate sort of upbringing in England, there was a lot of that. We got to appreciate that part of things. Underwater city, right? So it takes your shipwreck, underwater shipwreck. Now do an underwater city. That could be cool. These could be cool projects, girl. These could be really cool projects. So, on the whole city at different stages, this city here, I drew originally like back in the 80s. And then when I came to it again about 10 years ago, I ruined it. Like, I destroyed it. It was like, we're 1,000 years in the future, the city's destroyed. And I ended up drawing another city, probably about here. And the new city had moved to the north. Right, it's like 1,000 years on, post-apocalyptic stuff. They'd moved to the top, but there was this broken wall and this cliff, and with some just these spires here, these towers still standing but in ruin. So I kind of started to explore that different growth periods of the same city, and that's when like Cave Geek said you should totally do that. You should like totally go from like that initial founding through, which would be kind of a cool study. Yeah, write them down, Miss J, please, because I think you, me, we gotta experiment with some of these. Let's do an experimentation. Let's do an experimentation. Thanks, babe. Little bit of blue marble. Little bit of blue marble. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Mystery says, I'm imagining starting with a complete landscape map, then build a hut in a clearing, then fast forward a generation, build a few more huts, then then add a small temple, some shops. Yeah, exactly. And then throw in any possibility of protection, building a small keeper tower. Towers and the likes are obviously very costly. But if it was worth it, then maybe they end up building a small wall. Oh, hi Claudius. Alright, Papa Fox. I like it. You come in with style, not only with a save, but a zoom. Alright, we listen to the crowd. Here we go. There's the zoom. And there's the save. Thank you, Papa. Papa Fox, when was the last time you saw this one? I worked on it like 6 weeks ago or more. Have you ever seen this map? I'll zoom in a little bit. Let's do a tour. Our northern area. Reservoir. We got our barracks. We come over into our mushroom farm. All of this is inside a cliff. We got our mines. We've obviously got work to do. We've got all of the shadows to do. We've got all of our... we've got our road to do. We've got our marketplace. I don't know why I brain farted on that. We've got our badlands to the south between our cliffs with our moats. And we're currently drawing or colouring the Dwarven district. Richer, vibrant, even though it's inside a cliff, and then we're going to cover the whole thing in shadow. So, Papa, I basically did 3 streams today. One was a quick tutorial. One was 2 hours on Gaxmore, and we actually broke into the interior of the city. So we're back on that one probably Monday. And then I promised that I would return to this map. So I did a separate stream just on this map, and we'll finish in about half an hour's time, or something like that. Maybe an hour. Everything does have a beard, my friend. He has a beard, you just don't know it, you can't see it. He has a beard. He has a beard. He has a grand beard. He has 2 braids coming down. You just can't see it. Not to be outdone, he has 3. We were actually talking projects, Papa Fox. We were talking about cool projects in exercises of cartography. And we've got like a list of 10 going right now. Like underwater shipwrecks, to drawing a settlement at different stages of growth, to drawing a settlement at different stages of seasons, to what would be the difference between, let's say, a superhero city and a modern city and a medieval city. We've got, or taking a sterile environment, because we were talking about vibrancy of colours and textures. Well, what if you had to draw this sterile kitchen? How would you make that interesting visually? How would you add soul and interest to that? So, Mystery's got a small list that she's probably going to start knocking out. I'm very, very curious now to see what she's going to come up with for some of these. And I kind of want to participate in some of them myself. And you can't see it, Papa Fox, but even this building that I'm doing right now, this building has a beard. So actually, Papa Fox, you mentioned floating. So one idea Mystery had was like an environment for fire elementals or fire creatures, which then spawned, well, what about underwater city? How would you do an underwater city? Which then spawned, God, what was it? What was the other one? But you get the idea. Yeah, exactly. Like an air city, you know? It would be a really cool and interesting series to experiment with, I think. So I think Miss J's gone off to basically start knocking him out, as only she can do. She'll be back in half an hour. Go, okay, done it. Slam it down. Complete. I don't want to do that green, and I don't want to do it red. Blue. Let's do blue. I don't want to do green because I've got a lot of green trees right here, and I want contrast. I coloured those in grey, but I think I was meant to do gardens. Alright, well, let's change it. Oops, 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 oops. Gardens are water features. I like the idea of gardens. We're doing gardens. King Bashman is in the house. I thought about you earlier on. King, how is the Kickstarter going, my friend? Everyone, King Bashman, 2 King Games. They are running a Kickstarter right now. They do a lot of work bringing tabletop RPGs to our younger generations, thus breeding a new generation of gamers. Please go check out their Kickstarter. They do such a noble endeavor. %60. Okay, okay. Feel free to post a link, my friend. I'm not saying the link in and of itself will generate much, but it can then get saved as part of the video, right? And will you do me a favour? Will you send it to me in a message too? I know you already have, but it will be a reminder. It'll pop up on my phone. It'll be a reminder for me to share it again. I tend to use my messages and emails and such as reminders to do things. We're doing gardens. We're doing gardens on the sides too. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do some marble. We're gonna paint marble. Right here on stream. We are gonna do marble. First, we do gardens. So everyone in the chat, even if you're lurking, please check out that link from King Bashman. It would be most appreciated. Tabletop RPGs for our younger generations. And I did the map. In fact, we coloured it right here on the Twitch. Let's do the gold roof first. Oh, I was going to do a red roof. Red roof, red roof. We're doing a red roof. We're doing a red roof. We're doing red. So King, I don't... How many Kickstarters you done, King? Is this your first? Alright, so you probably know this, and my apologies if you do, and I'm about to say something that you are already familiar with. You will hit a doldrums. It will stall. Everything slows. Unless you're something like Simon or Reaper, you are going to peak, you're going to stall, you'll probably even drop a little bit, potentially. You know, people tend to drop out for the weirdest fucking reasons. Don't let any of that phase you. You fight through the doldrums, okay? You just keep pumping it. You gotta do it. You fight the doldrums, just like you're a bloody ship in the doldrums, and then you'll peak at the end. So you just gotta... You gotta fight the inevitable trough. And I've seen Kickstarters actually make money during that trough, but you've gotta put in the extra effort right there in the middle. And you probably know that already. My apologies if you do, but it will happen. It will slow. Don't let that fret you. Do not get down about it, okay? Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit like that. It is a little bit like that. And if anything, it means that you've got to put in a huge amount of effort right there in the middle 2 weeks just to fight that. It's like I saw it with Golden Goblin. Golden Goblin started pretty strong, and even Golden Goblin troughed. It just like went flat, and I saw Oscar Rios kind of getting a little bit like perturbed by it. Don't get perturbed by it. No, because now he's like spiking again because he's in his last 48 hours. So just get most of it, keep fighting towards 80% or something like that, you know? See if you can, honestly, I think you could fund, dude. I think you can fund in the next week. And then you're like on Happy Street. You just gotta put a huge amount of effort this next week. Yes, ma'am, that's the plan. Super Duper Push will be at Game Hall, where ironically they have kids track program. What a coincidence! The hell is going on out there? So there's someone's car going. They're just apparently sitting there playing their music. I hear it. Hopefully you guys don't. Alright, Mr. Bellows back. I can't believe that if you guys can't hear that shit. It is just like obnoxiously loud. There we go. Nice. Will you call up, please? Yeah. That's too loud. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Neighbours. I don't know how you can't hear it. Our neighbourhood is actually pretty damn good, Papa. I've really got no complaints. I've got no complaints, but there's something going on across the street right now, and they're playing some explicit lyrics loud. Yeah, it's the rapping sound. It's like, it's totally not cool. It's like so loud. It's so loud. Alright, we don't want to do too much yellow spilling away, but this is going to be yellow. Huon, King Bashman, Huon. They're like half the price. We had this conversation actually in the stream, I want to say a few weeks ago, with Brian McWhirter. And Huon were, you know, top choice. I think you were part of that conversation. Alright. Alright. I kind of coloured this in a weird ass way because I was so desperate to get apparently green down on the trees. I would normally not do it this way, but let's roll with it. Alright, what do we got here? We got this whole kind of complex right here. So let's make this one in the center be red. Alright, so I was gonna go on the stream for another half hour, but the sheer volume of neighborhood disturbance right now is a little distracting. So I think what I'm gonna do is probably end the stream right about here. I would rather, you know, pick it up tomorrow on admin day than go with less than optimal conditions. It's certainly taking shape though, don't you think? I think it looks rich, luxurious. I just spotted the green with the gold trim roof. I told you I was gonna do it. It looks good, it does. If the sound's barely coming through to you, then that's good. That's good. They are being particularly selfish. I believe that Jack has just called the cops. We never do that. We never do that. We've never had cause to do that. We frankly can just deal with things ourselves. But this is a little selfish of them, shall we say? It's not cool, bro. And I mean, they're playing rap and they're playing explicit lyrics stuff. It's like, dude, like what reality are you in right now where you think that that's like cool? Like literally the whole street. I mean, and we're like not even directly opposite. What about the direct neighbors? I mean, holy crap, man! How is that cool? But then I'm an empathic, nice human being, thinks of other people all of the time, and apparently not everyone's like that. Oopsie. It's not kid friendly at all. You know, it's one thing to be playing very loud music. I mean, that in and of itself just makes you a deplorable human being. Like in the case of like neighbors and such. But if you're gonna like play some explicit, like, I'm talking about it's effing and blinding, and everyone within 6 bloody houses can hear it. How is that cool? How is that cool? Honestly, it's a little bit like, and I've been this person, okay? I get it in a way. Like when you're listening to music in your car, but you decide that everyone else on the planet needs to hear it, so you crank down the windows, and now you're blaring it out, whether people want to hear it or not. Everyone's gotta, because you're really enjoying it. You know the type of people. You get the same people like at like the beach and such, right? I get it. I get it. I'm not one of those people, but I get it. Doesn't make it acceptable. Oh, that's what I meant to do. Was this building right here? Nice. Leaning towards one of the XP Pen Pro models. Why is that, King? And King, colour me like an ignoramus, but I didn't know that you were like an artist or mapper or whatever it is that you're going to do with it. An illustrator. What do you do exactly? What's going to be the purpose? That looks pretty. That looks pretty. Oh, they're on sale. Artist is a strong word. Alright, well, what are you going to do with it? What is the plan, man? Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. In fact, let's just merge them. What are you going to do with it? Gotta get some contrast going on here. I'm thinking a little blue-grey. What other roof colours could we do in the dwarf area? Yeah, we did a hint of blue, but I hear you. I kind of don't want to get into like these darker greys. We've got that in the rest of the city. I want to try and keep the dwarf area a bit distinct. And so far, I like how the temple area is shaping up. I like that. But for the regular buildings, turquoise, purple and turquoise. Yeah, I could see doing a little bit of that. I could see doing a little bit of that. More green ones. Yeah, you know what? With the gold trim. I like that. I like that. I like that. Gem-rock formations. Gem-rock auctions. Or is this for colour ideas? Yeah, I like the green ones. And I like the colour ideas. I'm going to actually... Let's just bookmark that, actually. Let's just bookmark that. Got it. That would be handy, I think. Thank you, Miss J. That's appreciated. Alright, look. I think this is where we're going to leave it. I feel like I've got the energy to go like another 50 minutes. But the noise outside is a little distracting, so I'm going to stop it. I would actually rather just come back tomorrow afternoon and continue working on this a little bit. So, we're going to stop it here. I'm going to do something about what's going on out there. And we'll be back. So, maybe tomorrow. I typically leave Sundays for admin days, and it's been working out well so far, but maybe just a little bit of catch-up. Definitely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, okay? And we'll continue with this and Gaxmore. Usual times on Mondays and Wednesdays is 6:30 Pacific time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, 6 and 9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we'll be back then. Sorry about that out there. I know you can barely hear it, but it's distracting to me, so I'm going to go do something about it. I love you all. Thank you for hanging out. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Maybe I might see you tomorrow. Don't be surprised if I pop up, okay? And just even mess with this for another hour. Because I feel like we're really close with the Dwarven area. It'd be kind of cool to finish it. You know what I mean? So until then, I'll see you. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, right? I'll see you then. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend. And I'm going to go get into a fist fight with my neighbours. Until then. Night, everyone.